I got you now. There you are.
Oh, wonderful. How you been, bud?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You should be the they changed this go-to webinar platform all up, and I logged in here for the first time this year to my surprise.
I got a little tripped up as well. I'm so sorry. I cut it too short.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So thanks for everybody for joining. We have great attendance. Actually, everybody seems like everybody that registered is already in here. Normally we delay for 3 to 4 to 5 minutes till people start funneling in, but apparently everybody's on it today. So we won't delay. I won't be telling any silly jokes or anything else. So what we will discuss briefly is if you have a question, just a quick housekeeping item. If you have a question, there is a questions tab um, in your panel there. Please go ahead and type that out. I'll do my best to monitor those. If it is a is it if it's relevant to the section that we're in or Peter's discussing, I will politely interrupt him and ask him to expand on or fill in the blanks of the question that you've asked. If it's something that we can hold on, because I have advanced previewed the presentation, I know it's coming later. We'll wait till we get to that. I'm not ignoring you entirely, but for the time being, yes. Um, and then when we get to the end, we'll have kind of a quick Q&A. So go ahead and utilize that question section um, as you see fit. One of the things that's tripping me out is I don't have a presentation view that I would normally have in the old platform to where I could see what everybody's seeing. And I'm worried. You're the presenter, correct?
Yes. Are you
You,
seeing the guy in the rocket chair?
the rocket chair, is that what that is?
Man, and for those of you that didn't attend any IRS shows, we had a rendition of this at a couple of them this summer. It was
Gotcha.
a lot of splash. It only went about 6 inches off the ground. There was not nearly as much smoke as you see in this picture either.
Wait, you actually had a model of this, like a you tried to ignite something at the show?
There was no flames either, but it was on some sort of hydraulic lift that went up like 6 inches. And
Hmm.
the idea was more like people get in it, take pictures, put it on social media, that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, I'll leave that alone, and we'll just assume that it was cool.
Yeah,
I didn't see it in person, so I'm not going to rag on it, even though my instinct is to rag on it.
I know. You would have
Um,
had some good jabs for sure.
I'll leave it alone for now. But
All right, well, go
so
ahead.
so yeah, we've done these kind of preseason or tax season previews of the bank programs. Today we have Peter Phillips from TPG who's going to be walking us through their presentation. Um, and Pete, how long you been in the industry?
About 15 years.
Getting old.
Um,
We're getting old, bud.
I joke that my first dinner ever in this industry was with Jeremy Duncan. We were both with former employers at that point, but
Oh, really?
yeah, it was me,
Oh,
you, Brian, and I think me and Jermaine from
that's
from
hilarious.
TPG. Yeah, yeah. So
Well,
that
great.
was it was in Orlando, some Orlando IRS show a long time ago.
That is funny. My memory is failing me on most fronts, and I don't remember that. But uh, we've known each other forever, so
I was wide-eyed and bushy-tailed back then.
understood. Got it. Well, dude, if you want to take it away, and again, I'll interrupt you politely as as appropriate.
Absolutely. All right, we'll kind of get going on this. So the way this presentation is formatted, or I guess laid out, is it kind of tries to start at the beginning of tax season and moves on forward. So Jeremy did mention something earlier, like if you guys do have any questions, chances are we'll probably cover it later on. But certainly feel free to ask. And then so first things first, these will be our new items or new programs that we are rolling out for this tax season. Last year, we rolled out a program called Fast Forward. That was where your taxpayers would get their refund if they got it on a direct deposit or prepaid card on Friday, the Friday before funding. So instead of on that following Tuesday, they would get it on Friday, and that was a $25 fee. This year, we are planning to have that as a check disbursement option as well. Just so any taxpayers that you have that are getting an RT would be eligible for this fast forward program. And if you're unfamiliar with it, we'll certainly go into it later. But we just kind of like highlighting the new things about our program up front. Second of all is a new referral bonus for EROs for anybody referred to Yendo, and that's a lending product associated with vehicles that we'll go back into a little bit later as well. And then I'm sure you guys have all heard about all the cybersecurity that the IRS is requiring. We have partnered with a company that we feel very strongly about to kind of give you an easy avenue to get all those boxes checked. So first things first, in our industry, and certainly the hot topic right now is cash flow, preseason advances. We will started advancing money October 3rd of this year. Still doing it a lot now, everything. So you're all still eligible. Don't worry about that. You didn't miss the boat. We'll be advancing all the way up until the end of the calendar year. So basically what this advance is it's just a lump sum money that we kind of advance to your office for whatever you want to use it for. People use it to help bridge gaps in payroll, rent, marketing, pretty much anything you'd want. We don't really, go into the details of what it's being used for, just knowing that it is kind of used for your office and helping to get that cash flow out there at a time where it's very needed. The minimum requirements, and I'll go through the tiers too, because it's pretty black and white. It's based on the number of RTs you did last year qualifies you for a certain tier. But a few years ago, we implemented 50 RTs as the minimum to get any sort of preseason money. And that's certainly our most popular tier. A lot of EROs in that kind of wheelhouse, and where a couple $1,000 goes a long way. So that is certainly something that we're happy about. Made my life a lot easier. I know a lot of service bureaus out there that kind of work in that number volume has helped ease a lot of headaches. And then in terms of fees, you guys can see as you get closer to tax season, the fees decrease. So just kind of whenever you want to go in and get it, just go ahead and opt into it, and the fees would be reflective of that. Now this is go ahead.
I was going to say, when do those fees hit, or how are they paid for the upfront?
So we would collect this loan out of your prep fees once funding starts occurring. And we can talk about that on the next slide too. But one big difference about TPG compared to some of our competitors is we do collect at 100%. If there's any debt owed on an EFIN, we will collect that advance before we start paying out prep fees. So also for any service bureaus out there, if you get questions about that, about why people aren't getting paid or things like that, that's always the biggest question there in early February.
Yes, sir.
These are our advances once the IRS opens up. We call this simply paid. These are the advances that once we receive that acknowledgement from the IRS, we'll advance up to 70% to those prep fees, up to $600 to you the following business day. So this is a great way also to help pay out your preparers if you have some that want to get paid for that, that tax return that they did right then and not have to wait until the IRS to fund it. It can be a little tricky. I do always mention this in these presentations too on the back end when you are reconciling everything, because it's not we don't collect per taxpayer. We'll collect per any funding on that EFIN. So a lot of times people think, well, if Jeremy's didn't fund, then, they come in and get that. And that's not entirely accurate. So super popular program as well.
Yeah, I think everybody has gotten hip to the whole reconciliation of prep fees and how everything's collected at this point, that it's going to be confusing no matter what. But we seem to be getting less questions each successive season with regard to, here's my prep fees, but where's the money? It's not in my account. And because everybody understands you got money up front and now you're paying for it. So.
Yep. These were the tiers that I mentioned earlier. They kind of give you an idea of how many RTs the previous year you did. You would be eligible for this amount preseason and this amount in season. One thing I did forget to mention about the in-season advance, which we call Simply Paid, you can kind of think of that like a line of credit. So if you are submitting like a bunch of people right away and all that and kind of waiting for big funding day, that could, in theory, pay these down. So whenever the funding comes in and it pays back these advances, you have the ability to earn more advance as you submit more taxpayers. So like, it's not like it's just like a strict cap and then people kind of come in as funding comes in, and then you can, get like, I guess what I'm saying is, say for the
It's a revolving
170
line.
Right, revolving line. Yeah, it's not just going to be that number, and that can confuse people as well. So this is an opt-in, opt-out program. You can just do it on our website. I have a lot of people that did do it for those first couple weeks, and then they just opt out of it because they don't need that cash flow anymore, and things starting to fund as normal, and you don't have to wait for big funding day and that kind of thing. So just another avenue that we can kind of help or ease those cash flow issues, I should say. Now we'll kind of get into the bank products themselves.
One quick question for see here. For the preseason cash, do you have to be a returning TPG customer, or could you transfer from another bank and still be eligible, or how does that?
That's a great question. And yes, you can be new to TPG. These tiers would be for any prior TPG customer or any new to TPG customer. Essentially what we would do is we would just get your prior RT data through that bank application in your software.
Gotcha. So when they submit their enrollment, there's certain data that's transmitted over to you guys that would qualify them for this, or you might reach out to us and ask for additional data.
Absolutely, yeah.
That will supply.
The only times it generally doesn't work, like, it won't at all, is if you change software last year as well.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Into the bank products themselves, the first one, kind of starting with the theme of going through the beginning of tax season towards the end, offering the fast cash advance. This is what we call our pre-ax and post-ax. We will be starting on January 2nd again. No change to our tiers this year, same as last year. Minimum's 500, maximum 7,000 that a taxpayer could receive. That's both pre-ax and post-ax. Honestly, the dollar amounts will be higher once the IRS does open up. Those loans are generally less risky. So, when I get on my soapbox about these things, if nobody's banging on your door for a pre-act, it's more expensive for you. And we'll go through this later as well. It's more expensive for you anyway. So just maybe kind of try to wait if they can. I know some people it doesn't really matter and they just want that money now, and nothing else matters. But a lot of times it makes sense to wait. We're just over 80% approval rates on our pre-ax and post-ax last year. And most loans are approved within, it's actually within less than a minute, not minutes. But we took our lending in-house a few years ago, which has kind of made the ability to massage the model and make things move a lot quicker. And we've really seen the speed of that come through with our new platform and bringing lending in model, or bringing the lending house in model, or the lending model in-house, sorry. And it's just whenever you kind of take out a middleman, everything seems to flow a lot smoother and faster. These are our requirements and costs for the fast cash advance. So on this first column to the left on the right-hand side, it'll talk about the tax pro fee, and that's if you get it on a card. Important to note that's after the $39.95 incentive that you'll receive in June. So if you put a check or direct deposit disbursement method as a pre-act, that cost is $79.90 to you, the ERO, and any post-act advances is $39.95. And then pre-acts, the requirements for this, at least 20 RTs the previous year and at least 80% funding. And then for post-act FCAs, new EFINs are able to opt into this, and or any EFINs that did at least 20 or that did under 20 RTs with at least 80% funding. So, somebody did 17 and 16 last year, 17 applied, 16 funded, that kind of thing, would be eligible for post-acts. This post-act requirement is something kind of special that you get for being a partner of Right Ways. This is not available to all of our, just new EFINs that sign up with TPG. It's something kind of special we do based on our relationship with Right Way and everything like that. So just wanted to highlight that.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Yeah, yeah. So the one thing about this is it is a manual process on these post-acts. So the plan is not solidified quite yet. Don't worry, we will get them all in. Our hair's kind of been on fire with getting these preseason advances out for the last week and a half. But there will be a manual process that last year happened once a week. Generally, it was on Fridays that any new EFINs that enrolled with us, that post-act option for FCA to opt in on our website would be ready that following Friday. So don't hold me to it quite yet. That is not in stone, but that's what we're shooting for this year.
Say it again. The opt-ins for the programs will be available. Are they?
So the opt-ins are available now only for these special post-act EFINs that are like new or under 20 RTs with at least 80% funding.
Gotcha.
And that would only be for the FCA, only for the Fast Cash Advance. Everything else will be ready once the enrollment record hits.
So I've got the question, when will the opt-in option be available? For none of my new under 80s have that option yet. New or under 80 have that option. We might need to.
Yeah. We haven't done any of the, sorry,
okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, if snag an EFIN or something later, we can check into what they're asking for, but
yeah, feel free. We could definitely look at one by example, but I'm 99% sure we have not done any of these quite yet. Any of the new EFINs this year in 2026 see that opt-in option on for the FCA on the website right now.
Understood.
So we're going
that answers the question.
It should be soon. It should be soon.
Cool.
And this just kind of highlights some of the rebates and perks of an RT. Most of you guys know this, that your taxpayer doesn't have to pay anything up front. It is, I guess the IRS isn't mailing checks this year, so that's going to be a big factor too, that it's kind of the unknown. Will that drive more bank products for people that do want to check and don't want to give the government information, that kind of thing? It's going to be a big wait and see. It's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out, in my opinion. But no change to the RT cost, still $44.95. Each additional funding after that is $14.95. That would be either Fed or state. We kind of moved a few years ago over to like first RT funded and second RT funded, as opposed to Fed and state. So if like for example, California's got those nice big refunds. If that comes in before your Fed, then we would charge $44.95 to that California refund. And once the Fed comes in, it would get charged $14.95. So that's always a common question that I get. So I just like highlighting that during this presentation. We also have the check print fee. This is a $12 fee that the taxpayer pays on every printed check. And $4 of that would go back to the ERO for utilizing that product. And then our doc prep fee bucket is also not changed since last year. Up to $160 available in that bucket that would go back to you, the ERO. So just a couple extra ways to make some cash.
So what about prior?
Yeah.
We're going to start processing prior year bank products if they're not mailing. I guess they'll still send a direct deposit.
Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of talk about this.
What about ID verify with the no check? Because that used to be their thing. Is there'd be a question of something to where they challenge the direct deposit or when I ID it, and then they would just IRS would unilaterally decide to just send them a check. kind of mess everybody up. Nobody gets paid in that scenario.
Yep.
I wonder what's going to happen there. You got any insight?
I don't, unfortunately. I mean,
I've
we're really,
asked,
go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say I've asked a number of industry people as to what the impact will be there, or if it will, and everybody's basically, we'll see.
Well, it's just even like, yeah, I mean, even if you go to this whole check thing about the IRS not issuing checks anymore, like we are such a fraction, small of what kind of, I mean, we do something similar to the IRS, right? But on such a smaller scale. And I don't know how we could ever facilitate not mailing checks. I mean, when you get, you can get a check, you can get a refund coming in 3 years ago and the bank and all the direct deposit information is bad. Like what do you do with that refund? So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if they're going to establish an account that you have to then go in and claim, like at the IRS, almost like updating a SSD, like Social Security benefits now that through their website, as opposed to calling somebody because they're staffing down. And I don't know. I think there's going to be a number of implications and exception scenarios where they're going to have to develop new processes that we're not even familiar with yet.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. There's got to be something new that gets implemented.
All right.
Moving on to, this is our fast forward product that I mentioned earlier. This presentation. This was totally new last year. And just a reminder, it was your taxpayers would get their refund 5 days early. Up to 5 days early is the legal technical term. But what happens is that last year that refund will hit that taxpayer on the Friday before that following Tuesday. And that was only on check or direct deposit this year. The plan is to have it on a check. That is also still not set in stone in October right now, coming up for next season. But we're pretty confident it's going to get done, but just don't want to tell you guys it's definitely done when it's not. Also, a way to earn a little extra cash on these, if you do at least 10 of these fast forward products, you would earn $5 per each one of these taxpayers. And I had a lot of people that loved this product last year. Taxpayers didn't care about spending an extra $25 to get it early. That was worth it to get it before the weekend, kind of thing. And any of you guys that are do receive emails from us, once this whole check on fast forward is finalized and that we know it's going to be all systems go, we will certainly be sending out emails letting you know. So keep your eyes peeled there. Oh, did want to mention bad or no credit. That is totally fine. All it's looking at is that the taxpayer has a refund. There are some banks that don't participate in this fast forward real-time payments is what it's called in the bank lingo. Those are generally like smaller credit unions, things like that. Any big banks have been totally fine. So just want to put it out there. These are the 3 ways too that we do disperse our RTs. Not much has changed over the years with these. Cashier's check, direct deposit, and we do have a prepaid card as well. Walmart continues to be our top check casher. We'll go through a couple different check cashing options on the next slide. But it's the shtick, everybody knows where the closest Walmart is, right? So it's the vast majority of our checks are cashed at Walmart. These are a couple of our newer ones that we added last year, like Amscot, super available in Florida, things like that. PLS is pretty much all over. And again, Walmart. So just kind of highlighting that we do have check cashing options with Amscot and PLS that are newer, but certainly we already have worked to get cheap check cashing options at all these locations. A little more information about our prepaid card. This is the image of what it looks like, and the also the app that they would see, and associated with the card, because there's an app for everything now, of course, right? But another way to earn some rebates are with the cards. You would receive $5 for every RT put on a Green Dot card, the prepaid Visa card, and then $39.95 when the fast cash advance is deposited on that card. So that would knock your pre-act cost down to $39.95, or if you just got the post-act FCA on the card, essentially it would be free to you. One thing we have changed in recent years, I can't remember, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, or maybe just last year's doing, but you do need to opt in from our website now if you are interested in cards. It just kind of got to the point we were just mailing cards out to so many people, it just ended up in drawers that developed this kind of opt-in option. Um, on our website for the people that are actually interested in cards. You know, you always talk to people, or I always talk to people that are like, yeah, I tried to go do cards like 5 years ago. I did like 3 of them. It was terrible. I'm never doing it again. Like totally okay. We don't mind what you put these RTs on, as long as they're RTs, and totally good with that.
When's the incentive? When's the incentive on that paid out? I know we get questions on that all the time.
It's generally the middle of June.
Okay.
It's got to be by the end
actually,
of June.
I see it in the text at the bottom. The incentive paid 6/30/26.
Yes.
Question
Generally,
answered.
we're before that because we don't. It's too. We got to get it out right. But
Yep.
generally, the middle of June.
Got it. Thank you.
And then we are going into more of our ancillary products. These are companies we have partnered with, whether in the tax industry or without, but think they could add value to your practice. This is a company called Yendo. This was new to us last year, but essentially it's pulling equity out of your vehicle. Unfortunately, I don't know a ton about it. It's more of it's essentially like a referral system. But we've received feedback and surveys and just verbally over the years about EROs looking for different ways to generate cash, or we all make our money in such a short period of the year. It's just kind of nice to have different cash flows and alternatives throughout the year. So this is something we have partnered with, and there is a $60 referral bonus too if somebody does open up a Yendo account. This is our Watch Cloud cybersecurity. I'm sure you guys have heard about all this from the IRS, of them complying with all the safeguards and rules and all that kind of thing. One of the nice appealing things about this is it's no money up front. This is something that you could sign up with them, and then we'll pay them on the back end once your fees come in and everything starts funding. Auto collect is not, this is one of our products that just kind of fits with this, I don't know, with these different kind of products. I'm sure many of you that do work with TPG are aware of auto collect, but essentially what this is we go in, we start reaching out to taxpayers that have not funded for whatever reason. Maybe FMS took the money, they owed support, child support, owed student debt, something like that, but you didn't get paid. So what we do, if it's been about a month since the expected funding date, we'll start reaching out to those taxpayers via mail or email. Generally, it's email. It's only mail if if we didn't have an email address for some reason for the taxpayer. But we do start reaching out saying, hey, you owe, according to our records, your tax return is not funded. You owe your tax preparer X amount of dollars. Click here and you can pay them now. And there's like a payment portal in that email that in theory they could go and just pay with their credit or debit card right then. We'll send another email about it. We'll send a third email about it. After that third email, if that taxpayer got a direct deposit as a disbursement method, we will go into their bank account and attempt to pull those tax preparation fees for you. So it's a great way too, if you're like, oh man, I'm never going to see that guy again. Like there's no way he ever comes back or something like that. That at least we are still contacting them on your behalf to try to get you paid. So one other thing about this product that I do mention, this is opt-in. It's like every EFIN that you submit at TPG will be automatically opted into this auto collect program. So you do need to take action to opt out. And we'll go through a couple screenshots on this next slide. So if you say you forget to opt out, right? And that the program starts, we load these taxpayers in, everything, we start reaching out to people. There'll be like a list of everybody that is loaded into this auto collect portal. So that's anybody that is about a month past expected funding date. You can go into these taxpayers. You can see the status of everything, but more importantly, you can go into them. You can stop collections. You can opt them out. If you forgot to opt out of this program, you don't want to reaching out to your clients or anything like that. You could go through these one by one and just opt every single one of these guys out. Say we did go into somebody's bank account and collect the funds. You could click on one of these taxpayers too. This screen to the right would look a little different. Like it would show like everything going on at the bottom of it where it says stop collection, it would say refund. So even if we do go into somebody's bank account and pull that money, like there's still the option to refund that money and kind of make everything fine. Like I have customers too. They don't opt out of auto collect, but every time their taxpayers get loaded into auto collect, they do go through it and just kind of say like, oh, I know this guy, he's not going anywhere. He had something go on this year, da, 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 da. But then there's always that handful of people that, you did the work for and you want to get paid. So they leave them in.
When are those funds that have been collected distributed?
We are thinking this week. That is a great question. It should be this week is the plan, is the last I heard. And that was like an hour ago. I heard that.
So it accumulates in kind of a bucket for each ERO, and then it's distributed at some point.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll begin. If it's not this week, it'll definitely be next week, but right around now. So keep your eyes out if we had anybody that we did collect or successfully collect on. But yeah, Jeremy described it perfectly. It's just they kind of sit in our side on a bucket. And basically, honestly, the reason why we do that is just because of any sort of like disputes or things like that. The waiting time to pay this out to you is just in case any taxpayers start disputing it. So we're waiting for the max time when it can't be disputed and it's essentially, done, that kind of thing.
Understood. Thank you.
We have debit card processing. This is with a company called CPA Charge. They've been around our industry for a long time. No monthly fee or anything like that. So the benefit of working with a debit and credit card processor that's familiar with our industry is they know you're not swiping the same number of swipes you're going to be doing in February as September. Things like that, just knowledge of tax and kind of what a different industry this is from so many others. We have also partnered with a tax debt resolution company in kind of that same vein of being able to offer as many tax services as we can to our EROs. This is also essentially like a referral system, just kind of partnering you up with some guys that we think highly of, and the ability also to earn some incentives to you guys. So if you can see this on the additional revenue opportunity, you get about 10%, or you could get 10% of the tax resolution fees paid by your client. And if any resolution requires preparing or filing past due returns, you could earn up to $150 a tax year. Probably our most popular ancillary product would be this one, our Marketing Pro. It's essentially like a CRM. It's got a super easy way to create a website too. A lot of email marketing campaigns, a lot of our marketing material loads very easily and looks good in this. I've heard a lot of good things about texting clients out of this, just kind of a way to stay more organized. This is also a product where you could sign up with them now, and then you start paying for it as funding starts coming in. So that's another thing. It's like they do like the annual, quarterly, monthly subscription model. So I always tell people, hey, just do it for like a month, and if you don't like it, no harm done. It's not that expensive, but if you don't have a CRM with scheduling and stuff like that, it just makes your life so much easier.
Yeah, we got one. We rolled it out here recently.
Yeah.
We're kind of in the beta year, but it's pretty much ready to go. But yeah, I've seen your guys' stuff too. It's good.
Nice.
I mean, ours is better, but yours is good.
I knew it would be better. I wish I should have done a slide on yours.
Yeah, I mean, I should have asked you to remove this entirely and plug ours in. My mistake. Just kidding.
Oh, no, you're good. And then for any of you longtime TPG people, we kind of leave this in just to remind about our reporting and stuff like that. Everything with us used to be, export, sort, filter, that kind of thing. I feel like I still do a lot of that out of habit, but there's no a need to. If you were just logging into your report to look for one guy, you don't have to do all that. Just click on reports, start typing part of his social or his name, and everything should come up right then and there. We do have the ability to customize and save, which is popular with a lot of people. When we redid everything about 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago now, we kind of said, okay, we want all this stuff in the reports that we've always been asking for. And kind of what happened is just kind of made our reports like there's just a ton of information on some of these reports, and all that information doesn't apply to everybody. But we just kind of wanted to get it to that as much as information as we could give, that was our goal, right? So what I tell people is, hey, you can customize these reports, just filter the columns once, just do all that once, show the information that you want to see next to the Ethans you want to see, save it, and then you just run it every time. And certainly saves a lot of time in the future. This is something that is very new. I actually don't know if this was tested successfully or not. But no, it should be good. For any of you service bureaus, you would know that in the past you would only have one username attached to your service bureau. So only if say me and Jeremy are partners of our service bureau and he had the username attached to his email address, but he was off hunting in the woods and I wanted to log into stuff, like it would send the two-factor stuff to his phone and he would have to reach out to me and all that jazz, which is a total pain. So that is all done. That is something we've been asking for a long time for our IT department. So I'm saying hot off the presses, I like 3 days ago, this is hot off the presses. So
that's cool.
It's great for the service bureaus. Yeah. And it'll certainly help with unlimited users, and there's always issues with people setting up users and that kind of stuff. So this should solve a lot of those problems.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but that'll be helpful.
And this is just kind of like a summary of our rebates and things like that, ways you can make more money with TPG. We've gone over a lot of these. 10 fast forwards, you get at least, if you do at least 10 fast forwards, you'll get $5 per, and that'll go up too, right? Like if you do 20, 30, you're still getting $5 a customer. Our auto collect product, which is just wrapping up now and should see payments soon. And then check processing fee, doc prep fee, this Yendo referral bonus, which is new this year, the rebates on the cards for the RT or FCA, and this referral system for tax debt resolution. Another kind of summary slide right here. We'll keep your eyes on the email about the fast forward on the check. Everything should be go, but again, I just you always want to say just in case, that kind of thing. So everything should be good, but wanted to highlight that. And then this is a picture of a bunch of us in San Diego last year. And that is about it.
I see you, Peter.
Yeah, I couldn't make San Diego this year.
Fair enough. I didn't either.
Oh, you didn't end up going?
No, sir.
I thought you were going.
Thought about it, but to your earlier point of needing the service bureau accounts, I was in the woods. So
did you like that?
Yeah, that was a very, very good for example.
It was it's pretty accurate, right?
Yes, sir. I was elk hunting in Oregon, so successfully. So
nice, congrats.
Yeah, thanks. Send you a picture.
All right.
What other questions do we have? Go ahead and use that question section. If anything was left unaddressed or there's a question mark, we got Peter now. I mean, he's easy to get a hold of, but while we have him, go ahead and type up your questions so we can get him addressed.
I think Armando joined as well. I don't think he's part of the presenter, but I don't know if he can talk. But
I'm here as well. I probably show up as Peter Phillips as well because I used your invite.
What's up, Armando? How are you, sir?
Hey, Jeremy. Doing well on yourself?
Doing well, thanks.
Good.
Yeah, I think you want to chime in?
Now, Peter pretty much, he covers it real well here. If anyone was interested on the Yendo thing, only real requirement on that is they have to own the title on the vehicle to use it as a line of credit, not if you're financing it. But other than that, I don't think they're doing any hard credit checks or anything like that. So I don't know. Some folks are interested in it because it's another way to get a line of credit.
Gotcha. What's the what are the mechanics related to that tax debt resolution? Is it in the portal where they just click on a client and say send the info over, or
Yeah, it's under the program section. They'll see tax debt resolution, and they can utilize that to like send a referral through TPG, and if they end up servicing them as a client, that's how they earn that incentive.
gotcha. All right, we're getting a couple of questions. This one I can answer. Will this recording be provided? Yes, it is being recorded. We'll also have this slide deck so you can download it as a PDF. When will TPG open for us to get ready for 26? We are doing enrollments now. And they are, I think we can even do compliance already and opt into most of the programs, assuming that it's within like the standard, as opposed to the thing we discussed earlier for right way clients, new EFINs and such. I don't see it on my site yet. I'm going to capture your name and find out who needs to give you a call. We'll get you squared away on that here. So yeah, enrollment's open. We're getting it. I mean, we've had thousands of EFINs already processed and approved, and people applying for preseason cash and opting in all their programs, getting their supplies ordered and so forth. So that's all rolling smooth. And I think it was early September that we've been going. All right. Questions are coming in.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, I always recommend just get it in, get it early, get your opt-ins done, and then you don't have to worry about anything. It's just so much more stressful to do that, the week after Christmas.
Yeah. When do you guys anticipate supplies going out, banners and so forth?
I want to say like 11/15.
Okay.
Right around there.
So that'll be your checks. If you opt in, again, if you want cards, you've got to opt into it. They're not sending them automatically.
Yes.
What is it like? What's the dispersion ratios of method? Like how many people are getting a check versus direct deposit and a card nowadays?
Direct deposits, we have the clubhouse leader for sure. Then checks and
80+%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean cards are probably low single digits.
Yeah, sub 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Also, new thing this year, the check stock. If you have checks from last year and just starting last year, they're actually now what we call evergreen or whatever. So you can use them this year as well and going forward, as long as they're from last year and on.
Yes, that's a great point, Armando. Thank you.
Interesting.
Yeah, believe it or not, years ago we used to have different check stock for different software. So imagine how
you guys had a different bank every year on your check stock. So
so the fact that in 2026 we can, you can use your check stock from last year is pretty crazy.
That's actually good.
It happens every year, and we're making calls like, hey, like they're like, you guys recognize you on this list? Come on. It's like, hey, you're printing checks on the wrong check stock, and they immediately like, oh gosh.
And I always get the question of, does it matter if it's sent to one EFIN or another? No, they can, as long as they're the current checks, you can use them under any EFIN.
There's a question specific to a state with regard to the ability to process, and I don't know when how late are you guys staying open? When's the last day to submit an RT?
11:30.
So that answers that question perfectly.
Which is, last year I think we pushed out to 11:30, but generally it's been the middle of October, so that's later than, historically speaking.
Perfect. I'm gonna keep this open for another. Oh, hey, is there a way to send an e-file to the SB? So when's the last day to print checks before you guys start doing before you start mailing them out?
Same date, 11:30 as well.
Gotcha. So you can print all the way up to 11:30. Anything that comes in after that, that's on a check you guys will be mailing to the taxpayer, correct?
Correct.
Gotcha. That other question related to fee direction, I think we should take that one. We can pick that one up with regard to e-file and doc prep, because I'm not sure the answer to that. Doc prep and e-file fees aren't directable with regard to the EFIN, that they're going to be paid to the office. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we could do we have a manual fee split process.
On those buckets?
And not on those buckets. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It would only be we could only do the prep fee or the service bureau fee.
Gotcha. Keep this open for about another 15, 20 seconds. If nothing else comes in, we'll end a little bit early. You were super efficient with your presentation. We always appreciate that. Again, this is being recorded. It will be sent out shortly after with a PDF attachment that you guys can, or a link to a PDF attachment that you guys can download. We will be putting together kind of that bank matrix to, in a single slide, be able to summarize the program with key dates and enrollments and fee amounts and so forth. That's pretty helpful. People seem to appreciate that as a quick reference, just to kind of know their numbers and know their dates. We did have one more question. Nope. Everybody seems happy. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Armando. Appreciate you guys jumping on and filling us in with what TPG's got going on for this upcoming season. We always have a good time on these things, and you guys do a great job. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Just let us talk. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's any follow-up questions we get after, we'll direct them your way and then disperse the answers accordingly. And yeah, awesome.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
That
Bye,
being
everybody.
said, everybody have a great Thursday, and we'll talk soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Later, guys.